Today, Classic Gaming Expo. How you doing?
Pretty good, and you?
Oh, not bad, not bad. So, tell us about what you've been up to lately, what games you're playing nowadays, and stuff like that.
Well, I've been pretty busy. I just got back from the VGS Expo in Chicago, and we were running a dragster and decathlon contest up there. Fun spot was the month prior to that, so I was working on verifying Les Martin's 5.3 million on Super Pac-Man, which was a phenomenal score. So here I am now at the California Extreme, and I'm at the California Extreme here, and I'm focusing in on the Super Pac-Man to see what kind of score I can put up as well, and the Gorf, but the Gorf is on the hard ROM, and so that might pose a little bit of a problem. You asked about the King of Kong and the Chasing Ghosts. They're pretty brilliant documentaries. Each has their own path that they touch on. Of course, the King of Kong, it focuses on Steve and Bill Mitchell. They're vying for the title of the King of Kong, which is Donkey Kong. I verified Bill Mitchell's $1,050,200 off the FAM show, Florida Association of Mortgage Brokers in Orlando, and I was at the Twist Up contest in Santa Monica 2 days ago to verify Steve's attempt at Donkey Kong, but he only got 466 due to the screen would fluctuate and there was no sound, so that was a little bit of a disadvantage for him to play in those conditions. Whereas Chasing Ghosts chronicles gamers of yesteryear, what they're doing nowadays with their lives, and just talking about how the boom or the crash of the 80s really affected their lives and us as championship gamers. As for retro gaming, the Atari 2600 platform, at the VGS Expo in Lombard, Illinois, I had played a dragster competition where I didn't look at the screen. The screen was here, I looked at the wall, and I attained a 587, which was chronicled on tape. And usually what I'll do is I'll play against somebody and offer prizes, like with the decathlon, $1,000 to anybody who can get under 10 seconds on a dedicated Atari with a dedicated Atari joystick. I mean, all original, like I played back from yesteryear. And of course, I have a challenge out the Jonathan Fatality Wendell, or pretty much anybody for that matter, if they can tie me on the dragster score of 551. I have a $10,000 bounty on it, which again, the nearest competitor is a 561, which doesn't sound like much, but when you factor in it's 300ths of a second each time, each factoring down closer to the score that I have, it's really hard to get that.
So without looking, how did you do that though? Was it like you remember how the timing from playing it for so much?
Well, I listened to the countdown, and then when I don't hear it no more, I instantly tap my stick. I don't play it like I would normally conventionally play it in a competitive dragster mode, but I listen to my RPMs, and the whine, the real high-pitched whine tells me that I'm really close to redlining and blowing my engine, so I ease off. So yeah, I mean, playing it hundreds of thousands of times like I have, I've had it down to a science.
Huh. So it's kind of like you probably can't play as well without seeing it, but you remember the sounds and then
I can play fairly well. I think that the best I have done unofficially has been in the mid 5.6s by not looking at the screen, but on tape now as it is 587.
And then you played against David Crane one time or something, I heard?
Yeah, I played against David Crane in one of the CGE expos that was in Las Vegas, and we were talking about the old days of Activision, and I used to work for them. I mean, in 1980, they used to fly me around the country and attend different shows like the Consumer Electronics shows in Chicago and pay me $1,000 a day to show the product, talk about the product, and usually they had people behind me that would handle that, of talking about the product. I was there to showcase the ability of the game, put on a good show for everybody, and they took care of all the rest.
Oh, okay, that sounds cool. And are you still, in your spare time or anything, you still playing any 2600 games, or?
Oh, I always play. I have 70 dedicated systems at my house and 11,000 games, so it's like Playland when you come to my house.
And then the spiders crawling around everywhere? Or
well,
what?
they're contained. I have probably 75 fish tanks. It's a lot of fish tanks. It's like a pet store, but yeah, they're all contained in several locations.
Wow. Okay. And then for aspiring gamers that has a high score in something or trying to get into Twin Galaxies or Guinness, what would you suggest on that?
If you make a mistake, look what you're doing wrong with your game style. Try something different and do it again. Never give up and say, okay, I don't want to play it. This is not for me. If it's something you really believe in, follow what you believe in. Make it so. Just be consistent.
And then what kind of verification or things do you have to do to sort of like record your score up to the rules and stuff nowadays. Anyway, since it's more.
Well, with most things, they want you to record from start to finish. They want you to an ironclad verification process. They don't want still photography, and even digital is a little bit questionable because there's so many different kind of photo implementations that you can alter or change to say, look, I got a record. They want 100% proof that you are legitimate, and if need be, they'll call you to a live venue and say, here, show us what you're doing, and we want to know that you're the real deal before we promote you as a record holder.
And then
anybody could submit a record as long as it's videotaped.
And they would have to film what they're using, or like before the game and after the game too, or?
Well, yeah. If you're using an emulator versus original console, we had an issue where an individual programmed a perfect run on Pitfall. I've held Pitfall record for 20 some odd years, and they programmed a perfect run on Pitfall. Somebody copied it in South America, made a record, they got credited for it, and I said, well, wait a minute, he's not playing on the same system as me. He's playing on an emulator, I'm playing on a dedicated system. Why is he getting credit for breaking my record? So Doug Coreycatch and I forget who else, they had tied that perfect run, and they're credited with the record now on a dedicated system.
Okay, this is probably a question you asked a lot of times. Do you have a record you're most proud of, or do you have a favorite game like Gorf or anything?
Okay, that's really simple. The game I'm most proud of is the Dragster score because I beat a computer. It was programmed to do a specific thing, and I beat it at its own game. My Gorf score because I've held it since 1982, and the game I like the most would be Robotron. We're talking classic games because it's simplicity and complexity. Simplicity meaning it's easy to play, complexity because no game is the same. So I lean toward Robotron. And newer systems, I mean, there's not enough out there yet to gravitate towards. There's so many good, wonderful games. I like them all.
And you got a lot of high scores, so is there any other games that you're actually trying to rack up something on?
Not at the moment. I mean, right now I'm just officiating several different record attempts. I think once things get situated more, I'll probably focus on getting some more records of my own.
Okay, so you're doing a lot of like refereeing and all that?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. All right. And is there any other, maybe inside scoop on any other classic game movies? Like, for example, there's going to be an Atari movie supposedly with Leonardo DiCaprio. Do you know anything about that, or?
Not really. It hasn't been floated my way, so who knows? I know there was an individual here that's working on a project called Space Invader, I believe, and working on a documentary called Space Invaders, which chronicles collectors like myself that have dedicated arcade coin-op systems in their house, along with other games as well.
All right. So you usually come to most of the events on San Jose thing, like
Well, this is my first time
stuff?
out to California Extreme, and I think it's really, really a good show. I mean, I'm sorry I missed out for so many years.
Oh, okay, so you probably come to the next one then?
Oh, yeah, most likely.
Okay.
I can definitely get immersed and saturated in here with just walking around all day like a kid in Playland playing games.
That's cool. All right, so thanks. This is the California Extreme 2008.